Good day, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Grassroots Vegan. Excuse the background noise.
This is the devil sign. It's literally the all-star sign.
Got a couple of teenage girls over here, and they're
there's 3 teenage
chatty cat. Well, two teenage chatty cats.
3.5. He's not quite a teenager.
Chatty cat, drama queens, all that stuff. So, I don't have anything in particular to talk about today, but let's begin with geopolitical situations going on in the world today, like Ukraine and Russia, Syria, the Gaza, and Iraq. Lots of crazy stuff going on in the world, and it's kind of strange, you know, because when you're in this sort of health movement community, raw food, raw tofu, whatever, low fat vegan, high carb, low fat, all of that, it's kind of like you're in this bubble. We don't talk about the stuff that's going on in the world, but yet could actually have a huge impact in our lives. And I'm very much aware of it because I'm heavily invested in the market. And so I have to keep in tune with what's going on, because when an event occurs geopolitically, the markets react either negatively or positively, whatever way they interpret the event to be. And so I get the direct impact of any kind of event that occurs in the world. Now, indirectly, though, what happens is this does trickle down. If there was something major like that would occur in Ukraine, let's say Russia just decided to take over all of Ukraine and maybe decide to expand even further, well, then we've got a big problem on our hands that goes beyond just how the markets would respond, and this would affect us all economically. And then ISIS, wow, that's scary stuff. ISIS in Syria, ISIS is expanding in Iraq, and they are, I mean, these are ruthless militants that are highly organized, highly financed, and it's like the experts are saying it's only just a matter of time that they're here in North America or in Europe. And so, you know, these are, it's kind of, again,
I love you.
Bye.
It's Christian, right?
The girls are gone. Okay. Yeah, I don't have to try to talk above them. Did you hear anything I said with all that noise in the background? Okay. Oh, I still got one left here. Now, he's not a teenager yet, though. He's got about 6 months to go. And then 5 months? Okay. So, yeah, where was it? I was talking about ISIS and the threat. Like, it is scary stuff. And, you know, if your life is preoccupied with whether you eat 100% raw, or you eat cooked food, or where can I get some quality raw, fruits and vegetables, like organic, if that's what you're preoccupied with most of the time, you're living in luxury. You are privileged, because there are people in the world, the only thing that they're thinking about right now is survival, not getting killed, not getting shot, not getting blown up. But let's not take this for granted, and don't kind of assume that it's a problem over somewhere very far away. It can come very close to us. If not militarily, economically, it could affect us. Anyways, I don't want to bum people out about all of this. It's like a different world from the investment world, for example, which I'm heavily involved with, is quite. It's like I do these YouTube videos on eating healthy and being healthy, but there's this other side of me where I'm which requires a certain amount of my time and energy. And, some may have issue with, like for example, I have a diversified portfolio that has a blend of cash, fixed income, and heavily weighted in equities. And in the equities part of that portfolio, I'm heavily diversified in pretty much every sector there is out there, from food to energy to commodities to like precious metals to telecommunications, technology. Yeah, I'm pretty well spread out. And you may say, well, how do you feel about investing in these big corporations? And here's the deal. Like, for example, big oil. I own some oil company stocks like Sonova, Suncor, Canadian Oil Sands, Ecopetro. You may question, well, how can you, in good conscience, participate in the big oil companies? Well, the reality is, if you drive a car, if you use public transit, if you use any products that have plastic in it, then you are participating in these large corporations.
Frick.
Pardon me?
Frick.
Frick, what's frick? Anyways, never mind. So, I've just decided that the way I want to participate is I want these big corporations to pay me through capital growth and dividends. And so that's my philosophy. I mean, I've had so many people complain to me about how the banks, their service charges are ridiculous, and perhaps they are, and how the banks are just getting wealthy off of us by all these different service charges. And it's true, the banks are getting wealthy, but instead of complaining about it, I own the major banks. They pay me. They pay me in the form of capital growth and dividends. I started buying into the banks back when the banks were not in favor and they were relatively cheap. So on the capital growth side, it's been very nice. It's been quite profitable. And then their dividends, I mean, when you're talking about a 4% yield, that's better than any GIC can offer you. So,
Finally.
you know, pat all your school supplies packed together? Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's my philosophy about corporations. And yeah, there's definitely places where on a social level, on an environmental level, on an ethical level, there's always room for improvement, and it's important to have that conversation, that dialogue, and even in some cases protesting and standing up against corporations' behavior if it's inappropriate. But it's a part of our economy, and it's the way our economy works. And until we have some other kind of mechanism in place, which I'm highly doubtful there ever will be, I mean, I can't conceptualize anything else other than the free market system that we have now. But who knows? You know, things do change, and but until that happens, I want to benefit financially from the system that's in place. So where am I going with this conversation? I don't know. I'm just kind of talking today. You know, just letting my thoughts flow here. I haven't eaten that yet. I got to eat it soon. It might start rotting.
It sort of smells like a dairy fruit.
Yeah. Well, it must be of the same family, I would think, because it is similar in a lot of ways. And it does have a strong odor, but that is definitely a jackfruit. And it has a distinct flavor from durian.
I think I should try durian fruit again.
Okay.
Because when I was young, little, I don't know.
Right. Well, I can always pick one up and we'll give it a shot.
Yeah. When you got that maggot.
So let's get back to raw food now. So yeah, you know, the world is in threat of just going crazy, and all these wars breaking out everywhere. That's something to be concerned about. The world of investment. That's, you know what? There is I find a lot of parallels though between the investment world and the world of health and fitness. And the parallels are the investment world has their gurus as well. Individuals that have been extremely successful in the market, whose words are very influential, who have a following, who have a method of investing that they live by and that they would die by. And people pay a lot of money to get information from these people and to follow their methods. It's the same deal, right? We got our health gurus that are very influential, and what they say is very powerful. It influences people's decisions. And so there is interesting parallels, the same kind of psychological makeup that you find in the health movement, in the vegan health movement. You find that same kind of psychological profile in the investment world, that you get these similar kinds of personalities, these individuals that, and they're online as well, they're on YouTube. You're asking me if you can have permission to have that?
Yeah,
yes, you may.
corn soup.
Yes, you may. So I find this fascinating as well, that it's the same deal. And I've actually gone to investment conventions, I guess you could say, hosted by a particular fund that has a very specific philosophy about investing. And it's almost a cult-like. And you really do, it's like you're a believer in this investing method, and you don't deviate from the plan. And there are leaders out there, and they're on YouTube, and they are very passionate about their point of view with regards to investing. And here's the deal. I know people who have followed them religiously and have been hurt by them because they took them too literally. They didn't take the time to think and be critical for themselves and to really understand what is going on. And I see the same thing happening in the health food movement with health gurus. We have very influential, powerful individuals who people hang on every word they say and follow to the T what they're promoting. And in many cases, they even take it too literally and misinterpret what they're saying. And this is why I am always encouraging people to be critical, individual thinkers, and to listen to your body, because your body never lies. And I know this is hard to maybe wrap your head around, because it's your head that a lot of time, that is really what gets in the way. But if you really just stop and listen to your body, the body has never led me astray. My son is vacuum cleaning. That's interesting.
It's out of power.
It's out of power. Oh, it wasn't plugged in properly. So it's a cordless vacuum cleaner.
I'm going to have to use my hands.
Would you spill something?
No, it should be
okay.
corn soup.
Oh, this looks like it's going to be a longer video than what I expected. So, yeah. Be a critical thinker. Be an individual. Listen to the leaders in the movement. But really, get another opinion. Like they said, get a second opinion. And try to work it out in your own mind. Like these methods that are being promoted in the health food movement today are good. I mean, I'm like raw till 4, 80-10-10, 100% raw. These are all great methods, and for many individuals, they work well. But you're an individual. You have your own circumstance. You have your own health issues. You have a lot of things in your life that whatever you choose has to work for you. And I'm not suggesting that, there is no truth out there. It's just all, whatever works for you is fine and whatever works for me. Because then, forget about promoting any kind of health method, because basically, everything would be just completely relativistic. I don't believe that either. And I believe that through proper scientific research, yes, scientific research. It's not a perfect method, but we can get a better understanding of how our bodies work and what will work best for us for optimal health. And I think we're getting a better knowledge of that. And that brings me to another topic of the week that there's been a lot of disagreement within the raw food movement, the vegan movement, low-fat vegan movement, Rato4, I have to go through the list of them, eh? But, we're all kind of, I guess we all are, where we're all on the same page is in the macro ratio of,
Just wait 1 second.
okay.
Be really quick.
Just wait 1 second. I can still talk. The macronutrient ratio is what I'm trying to say. Of 80-10-10. 80% carbohydrate, 10% fat, 10% protein. That macro ratio as a guideline seems to be a common factor amongst all these different segments of the health food, of the vegan health food movement. And also vegan is another factor as well. And then we have different sort of takes on that. And they're all good to some degree. They all have value, but you really have to find your own space in this and what will work practically for you and will be a benefit for you. And so that's, what else? Is there anything else I want to bring up? I think that's about it. Eh? I'm on 17 minutes now.
That's a long video.
That's a long video. If you're still here, thank you very much. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave comments. That's what I wanted to talk about. Dialogue. This is where I was going with this discussion. The vacuum cleaning distracted me. There are people out there kind of starting to get upset now that there's all this disagreement, that there's even bashing going on, and we don't, why can't we just all live in peace and in love and harmony together? Great idea, but growth doesn't really happen that way. Growth happens when there is disagreement, when there are conflicts. It's not a bad thing. And yes, okay, some people will get hurt in that process, but, put that down, but there is growth that occurs with that. I recall a video I put up not too long ago about cooked food and how I more or less didn't have a problem with it. And then I was challenged by somebody else about acrylamide, and at the time I wasn't really familiar with acrylamide, so I did all this research to get a better understanding of acrylamide. Now, if I wasn't challenged in that way, it would not have provoked me to look further into the topic. Now I have a better understanding of acrylamide. And so, now I do emphasize the importance of low heat cooking if you're going to eat cooked food. And if you are going to eat high cooked food, leave it to a bare minimal. It shouldn't be a daily part of your diet. So it's an ongoing learning process. I'm a part, and every day I am engaged in that learning process. I want to learn more. I want to have a better understanding because, I'm not an expert. I don't have all the information. Nobody out there, even the leaders that are out there, do not have all the answers, all the information. They just can't. There's a certain complexity about the human body. It's not just a simple machine. And we are going to continually grow in our understanding. But that comes about with debating, with dialogue, and even with conflict. So don't get too upset about that. If it tires you out after a while, then you can just turn it off. But It's a healthy aspect of growth. I mean, families know this when they fight with each other. Children fight with each other. We think, oh, you know, if they could just live in peace with each other. But that conflict is actually a part of their growth. It's building their characters. So I think it's great that we're seeing people speaking out, that are daring to speak up against even some of the leaders and saying, hey, you know, this didn't work for me, and why didn't it work for me? And when you get that going, you know, good things come out of that. Yes.
You know that pizza you made back in your first video where you like put on lowest?
Yes, yeah, the raw pizza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta do that again.
Okay. That was a video I did quite a few years ago. I guess it was back in 2009, probably. That was when I first was into the raw food. You know, doing the.
It was your first video.
I was experimenting with the flaxseed pizzas and stuff like that. Anyhow, if you're still here, thank you. Oh, you know what the hell? I've gone this long. I might as well go a step longer. I talk about monetizing. I talk about my investments, making money off corporations, that kind of stuff. This is why I monetize my videos as well. Because now I'm not popular enough, unfortunately. You know, and I'll be honest with you, I envy those who are. Not in a bad way. I mean, good on them. They did it, but I honestly like thinking, oh man, if that could just be me. So I guess I got to try harder. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I'm not really making any money off monetizing at this point because my viewership is so low.
Thanks, though.
But if I can get the opportunity to have corporations pay for my videos, yippee, I'm all for that. You know, and this is where, I mean, I have 3 words that I kind of, it's like a mantra of mine that I every day say to myself: I am wealthy, I am healthy, and I am happy. And you think, well, why did you put wealth before health and happiness? Shouldn't it be happiness, health, and wealth? And the order of it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're all on an equal playing field for me. The reason why I put wealth first, because I don't know about where you live, but where I live, if you don't have any money, you don't have a roof over your head. Or if you do have a roof over your head, it'll be provided by the government. It'll be in a shelter somewhere where you got to share these urine-infested beds and with other individuals, or you're out on the street, and you won't have the choice of what to eat either. So money is associated with, in this kind of world that we live in, you need money to be able to be healthy and to be happy to some extent. It's not, I mean, if you are pursuing money for the sole purpose of being happy, then you're misguided and you'll be disappointed, no question about it, because no amount of money will ever make you happy. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't make you feel more secure. In fact, the more money you have, the more anxiety you experience because you're constantly thinking about how to allocate those funds so that they're protected from danger and that they can further make more money. So it creates a whole different level of anxiety. And but it's a necessary part of our daily existence. So wealth, financial wealth, is extremely important. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be a multi-millionaire or a billionaire, but it's important to be at a place where you can enjoy a quality of life that you would like to enjoy. Health, well, you know, this is where the vegan, low-fat vegan lifestyle comes into play. And then happiness, for me, that has to do with family, it has to do with relationships, and it is also spiritual as well. Your relationship with God. I personally believe in God. Now, even if you don't believe in God, there should be something that would take you beyond yourself. It could be meditation, I don't know. But spirituality is important for happiness. And, you know, really, you can lose your money, you can even lose your health for whatever reason. But your happiness could still be intact if you have a strong spiritual center. So, wealth, health, and happiness. I think I'm going to close it on that. So, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.